In this e-learning session, we shall be discussing about one of the economically important fungus, that is Astilago. Astilago belongs to subdivision Basidiomycotina. Now, first of all, the systematic position of Astilago is like this: kingdom Mycota, division Eumycota, subdivision Basidiomycotina. Class is Teleomycetes, order is Astilaginales, family Astilaginaceae, and our today's member is Astilago. The species we are taking is Cynodontis, because in our college campus the grass Cynodon is highly infected with this fungus. Now the word Astilago, especially this starting word astus, it is derived from a Latin word which means burnt, and it causes a very economically important disease known as Ismut disease. Ismut refers to the Kajal ka Thabba or Collyrium. It is represented by about 400 species which are cosmopolitan in distribution, though in India approximately 108 species are reported. This fungus is very harmful. It infects the floral parts of some economically important plants like wheat, maize, barley, oat, sugarcane, as well as some wild grasses like Cynodon, that we call as doob ghas in local language. The botanical name of doob ghas is Cynodon dactylon, and that's why the name of this species is Astilago cynodontis. It causes severe loss to these crops, and in India it is very common in UP, Bihar, MP and Punjab. Now we shall be covering this member under following subheadings. We shall be discussing about the habitat, habit, symptoms, life cycle, and finally control measures adopted to check the spread of this disease. Now friends, first of all we shall see how this how this disease looks in the field. This is a normal branch of Cynodon having these spikelets, and this is the infected floral part of Cynodon, and here you can see the black spores. These are the spores, and this is loose ismet. Since these spores are easily blown away by wind. See the black spores on my hand. Now these are the teletospores that we shall be discussing afterwards, and this is the another branch showing infected floral parts. Now starting with the habit of this fungus, the plant body or mycelium of this fungus is branched, septate, it is hyaline, no color, it is intercellular, present between cells like this. Haustoria for taking nutrition from the cells may or may not be there. Now the mycelium, since this is a member of Basidiomycotina, the mycelium in this case are of two types. One that we know as primary mycelium and secondary mycelium. Primary mycelium is also known as monokaryon, and as the name suggests, it is monokaryotic. The cells have got one nuclei in them. It is short-lived, and this type of mycelium is formed from the germination of basidiospore. Now coming to the secondary mycelium, it is also known as dikaryon or a dikaryotic mycelium. In this, each cell is having two different strain nuclei, one plus and another minus. This type of mycelium is formed after the process of dikaryoticization. There are many methods by which dikaryoticization takes place. One of the methods is like this: two basidiospores plus and minus having different strain nuclei, they come and fuse with each other, plasmogamy take place like this, and thus the monokaryotic mycelium gets converted into the dikaryotic mycelium. This is how dikaryoticization takes place, and it results in the formation of a secondary mycelium. This disease can also be systemic as well as localized. That is, systemic means that it can occur in any part of the plant, and localized means that it is confined to a particular part. For example, in this case, the infection is in the floral parts only. Now coming to our third subheading, that is the symptoms. In Astylago, two types of symptoms we can see. First is loose smut and another is covered smut. As I discussed earlier, this is the loose smut in which the spores are loose. They are not covered by any protective covering. So when the spores are loose, these are known as loose smut. Now these type of spores are easily blown away by wind, leaving behind a bare rachis behind. These are the spores, smut spores, which are black in color. And some important examples of this are loose smut of wheat, and the species causing it is known as Astylago triticale. Oat, Astylago aveni. Barley, Astylago nuda. And our this member, wild grass Cynodonti, it is known as Astylago cynodontis. Now, talking about the covered smut, in this the spores are covered by a membrane which is known as peridium, in which spores are there. Now these spores are only released after threshing. When the threshing takes place, only then after the breakage of this peridium, the spores are released. And some of the examples are covered smut of barley. The species causing it is known as Astylago holdii. Covered smut of oat, Astylago cauleri. Now, along with this, one species known as Astylago Astilago it causes gall forming isthmus of maize. Now these galls can be found on the stalks of the plant as well as the leaves. Like this, tumor-like structures are found. Similarly, in sugarcane, the entire inflorescence it becomes whip-like this. The inflorescence in case of sugarcane, it becomes whip-like, and the species of Astilago causing it is Astilago cyclops. Now coming to the next subheading, that is the life cycle of this fungus. It undergoes two types of reproduction means. First is asexual and second is sexual. It reproduces asexually by one of the very common methods that we have seen in algae as well as other fungal members, that is fragmentation. The mycelium, it breaks up into a number of pieces and each piece then forms a new plant. It may be by budding of basidiospores. Conidia are also observed, but reproduction by means of conidia is rare in occurrence. Now coming to the sexual reproduction, no reproductive bodies are found in Astilago. Starting with the sexual reproduction of Astilago, as the mycelium is intracellular, we can see the intracellular mycelium between these cells. At the time of flower formation, it makes spores known as teletospores. Before this, I would like to tell you that the reproduction takes place by means of two types of spores. One is teletospores and other is basidiospores. Now the mycelium at the time of flower formation becomes active and it starts making teletospores, which are yellow to black in color. They are globose, their wall is spiny, reticulate, and sometimes smooth walled also. Now each teletospore is a binucleate structure, as these are formed from this intracellular mycelium, which is dikaryotic in nature, and that's why they are two nucleate structures. Now these spores are known as isthmospores. These are easily carried away by insects, water, air, and as you can see, the outer wall is thick, known as exine, and the inner wall is intine. Now here we can see these two nuclei, they fuse with each other, making a diploid zygote. This diploid nucleus now divides by meiosis. The four nuclei, they migrates into a tube-like structure, outgrowth, known as promycelium. Now this stage, it takes place when these spores, they fall on a suitable substratum in favorable conditions, that is proper temperature and moisture conditions if available, then only it shows further division. Now out of these four nuclei, which are the result of meiosis, two are of one strain and two are of another strain, plus and minus. These all are N in nature. Now what happens next? These four compartments, they again make a finger-like structure, a protuberance. which then swells at its tips, making a swollen round structure known as basidiospore. One nucleus remains in the mother cell and another moves to the basidiospore. This lower stalk-like portion is known as stegmata, and these are the basidiospores. The basidiospores are now released. They fall on soil or another host plant, in which they germinate and makes a primary mycelium. And when they find a suitable partner, like plus when it finds a minus strain primary mycelium, they both undergo plasmogamy, and both nuclei they come together, thereby making it a secondary mycelium. This process is known as dikaryoticization or diplotization. Now it again enters with the help of this mycelium. It enters by stomata into healthy plant. The cycle goes again. This is how the Astylago it completes its life cycle. And now coming to our last subheading, that is the control this disease, because it is a very hazardous disease of plants. These are some of the methods by which we can control. First is solar heat treatment. We can also give hot water treatment. We can treat seeds anaerobically. The best method is to grow disease resistant varieties like NP 165, PB 90, Yan 227, Bansi OP. So some of the resistant varieties that are found suitable to grow. We can use fungicides also, like carboxyl, agrocen, Spurgon, another method that is more practical is roguing, in which we have to uproot and burn the infected plant. And another one of the good method is crop rotation. So by these methods we can stop or we can check the spread of this disease. Thank you.